And now, it's time for An Audience with the Pope, featuring esteemed, distinguished, and renowned trial attorney, Anthony Pope.
I gotta tell you, this is one of those mornings. You gotta see this if you're watching this. We've got
changing chairs.
No, but wait a minute.
Anthony, started out tall.
No, listen,
I mean, come on. You have
this
that.
This is the best.
My ego's not that big to sit in that chair. That was too low. I mean, it's.
Anthony sat in a chair like Jerry Lewis. Hi.
I removed that chair yesterday, and it's back.
Somebody put it there. We have a chair crisis in the studio, and I hear, Matt, we ordered new chairs. I hear we got some beautiful, beautiful chairs coming in. Not today. Mine's squeaking, but I have to. What's making me laugh is Anthony Pope is here. I know Anthony. He's meticulous on everything, and it was so funny. You see
He's
somebody
trying to raise
No, listen.
It kept on getting lower and lower.
But he's standing there all ready to go, and he's shrinking. And I can see the look on his face. Like, what's
He was
going on?
under the counter. Hi, Joe. Nice to be here. Hi, how are you? Your eyes, I can barely see you, man.
It's like the Chaplin movie, The Great Dictator, where Mussolini sits in that little baby stool.
Yeah, so true. But I know Anthony. It's so funny because Anthony, if you go to Anthony's office, or if you go see with Anthony, and our buddy on Twitter, Swag Dad, he follows Rudy V, great guy. He says the Pope is in the house, and he showed a guy getting dressed real cool suits because Anthony wears the best suits. And if you've seen Anthony's office, it's impeccable. And the furniture's impeccable. He's got all the fancy and everything. He comes to my studio, my longtime friend. I can't even give you a chair. You're sitting on the floor. I am sorry. Are you okay? Are you comfortable now?
I'm fine.
It's great. Listen, there's a reason why we're doing well financially. 'Cause we don't spend a dime. Not on chairs, not on anything.
Marconi used these chairs when he was here.
Look at
Frank. Frank is shrinking away. Look at Frank.
This is the best part, though. This is the best part. This is not the chair that I just removed.
Can we put Gallagher on a couple hours earlier
Joe,
today?
understand, Joe, this is not the chair that I just removed. So I took out Anthony's, booster seat, and then I brought in another chair, and it's the same thing. I can't raise this one either.
You got it. So look at.
And I have a lot of chair experience. It's no fault of the user.
It's all right. You can reach
Oh, my Lord. Anthony, welcome, man. We got
thank you. Good
cannolis from
morning.
Nutley, from Daniel Geltrude. Look, how about this cannoli?
Oh, no, cannoli looks
You
good.
don't touch this, though, do you?
I'm trying
A little
not
bit.
to.
Oh, come on, man. Anthony,
Every now
welcome
and
back.
then.
How are you, man? How you doing?
I'm great, Joe. Nice to be here. Al, Frank, hello.
Thanks for. I know how busy you are to come in. And just you're great on the radio with us, and now you're the official legal analyst for AM 970 Answer, an audience with the
An
Pope.
audience with the Pope. Okay.
We got to get you a chair that the Pope has.
It kept shrinking.
Only us, man. Only us. Hey, Anthony, what do we do legally about people who? It started in Philadelphia with this DA, Larry Krasner, who's not prosecuting. They're letting people off. Like in Los Angeles and California. Well, if it's under $1,000, we're just going to let you off. Right. Isn't this going to open up a floodgate of problems?
Well, it very well could. Listen, prosecutors have a great deal of discretion as to what they're going to prosecute and not. But typically, the discretion lies with the fact that when they look at a case, and if they believe that they can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, then you don't take the effort to do so. You don't charge somebody that shouldn't be charged. So that's wherein lies the discretion. But to simply say that criminals, whatever the crime is, we're just not going to prosecute, irrespective of whether the proofs are there or not, to in fact convict, well, that's an abuse of discretion. Because ultimately, in spite of the discretion that a prosecutor has, you're still accountable to the people. And that's what politicians, prosecutors, that's what people are missing today. Answerable and accountable to the people.
Yeah.
They're just no longer that. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's so true. And the disrespect shown to police officers, all these stories, I don't even address them. They're like those little gossipy stories about police this, about police that, about they arrest one gal because she has 10 citations. She's not moving, so the police have to do something. But you never hear about the domestic violence call, or maybe the dozens of domestic violence calls that the police had to answer to last night alone.
There's no question about it. There is a uniqueness. Look, a police job is a very difficult one. I did it at 19 years old.
God, amazing.
I was a patrolman at 21 as a detective, and it was an experience that has carried me well throughout my legal career, and I always appreciate it. And I felt good about that. I gave 4.5 years back to the community as a police officer. I wasn't in the military, and so that whole experience was well worth it, and I'm glad I was able to help my community. But the uniqueness of it and what you have to go through and the split-second decisions that have to be made, all of that is something that unless you've experienced it, it's hard to get your arms wrapped around. And everyone wants to play Monday morning quarterback. You know, the minute something happens, there's criticism, there's questioning. And I'm not saying police officers' actions shouldn't be looked at, questioned if need be. But what happens today is everybody just decides that they know better, that they know the way they should have done it. And it's just wrong. It just doesn't address really the complexity of what police work is.
Yeah, and yet it still makes the headlines. It makes the front page of the newspaper. Don't you represent? Is it okay to say the PBA?
I do. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about today is the representative police officers. You know, as a former police officer and a former detective in the city of Newark, I have a unique experience, and I understand what police officers go through. So when I first started my career as an attorney, after being an assistant prosecutor, you know, I did a lot of police work, and I still do to this day, defending police officers who are wrongly accused, who have issues that they need legal representation. So the experience that I bring to bear with what I have done myself, recognizing the complexity of all of it, I've been able to serve the police officers well, and it's an honor to do so. Because, you know, you have men and women out there that are protecting us. They make split-second decisions. And even sometimes when the decision is wrong, with the benefit of hindsight and the analysis of it and the taking forever to look at it, you know, I mean, but it's a split-second decision. You really have to be careful. We don't want police officers acting intentionally wrong. We certainly don't want them being reckless. But we do have to recognize at least that the decisions they make are done with what information they have available at the time, what they're confronted with, and they have to act. And they're most of them, the vast majority of them, do that with a mindset towards protecting the community and, of course, trying to protect themselves as well, but always putting the community first.
Anthony Pope with Joe Piscopo on the radio. Before we let you go, Anthony, appreciate you coming in. This impeachment inquiry. The word impeachment, it's so dramatic. This is like, someone said it on Fox. Oh, who said it? I just saw it, was it this morning? It's like a death knell for the president is what they're trying to do. The word impeachment, they're throwing it around. And now this whole inquiry, that's all the television's going to be like. Again, that's another thing I try to avoid. How, as a lawyer, you see this unfolding. There's no proof. There's no evidence. There are accusations just flagrantly thrown around. I mean, how irritating does that make you as an attorney?
Well, you know, Joe, again, the whole idea of impeachment is a constitutional issue, and the politicians are supposed to have the sense of what is impeachable and what's not impeachable. There is no credibility with the Democrats at this point because from the moment he was elected, they've been trying to impeach him. Yeah. I mean, if you look back from the moment that man won the election, from the day after, how many times Democrats, politicians on the other side, have spoke about impeachment. You know, as we all know, it started with the Russian collusion, and that went nowhere. It didn't exist at all. And now we have this Ukrainian thing. And the problem is they just don't stop. They just will not stop. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, last night I put on the news, and at one point I just said, you know what, I don't even want to watch it anymore.
Exactly.
I wish the election was tomorrow.
That's right.
I really do.
That's
I wish it was tomorrow so we could get over on this because the infrastructure and the deficit and all of the issues that we have existing, they're not doing anything.
Nothing.
They're not serving us well anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about impeachment, they should be indicted for malfeasance and misfeasance in office.
Amen. Anthony Pope right there, 752. I promise you, when you come back next time, I'll have a new chair.
All right.
New chair. Listen, leave the gun, take the cannolis. We got them right here for you. Not a problem. Anthony Pope right here, an audience with the Pope right here on AM 970. The Answer.